Monday, October 25th. And I would like to welcome all of you to the clubhouse for this special meeting of the Board of Directors of the Pine Island Condominium Association.
Everybody be quiet.
4801 Lakeside Club Boulevard.
Everybody be quiet.
The meeting will now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Okay, Eric, will you please call the roll?
Jim Tucker.
Tommy McIntyre. Jen Reno. Miranda, sorry.
Here.
Vice President Scott. Harris. I'm here. Treasurer John Fricker.
Here.
Freeburg, absent.
Ken Jerome and Mike Brown. The meeting was properly noticed.
It was properly noticed.
Can't hear.
You can't hear?
Okay, well, we're not at the part where you need to hear. The meeting was properly noticed. And I can't do what
You guys heard me the first part of the meeting, didn't you? Yeah. Thank you. And now we're going to go right on with the meeting. I'd like to introduce to you Kim, what's your last name? Aida. Sales representative from Xfinity Communities will present their proposal for Pine Ridge. Then take questions from the board of directors, from the board and the residents. Excuse me. Okay, Kim.
Yep. Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
I think you're going to need your microphone.
Okay.
You probably have to walk with it if you can.
Okay.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you for including me in this evening's meeting. I do appreciate the opportunity. I was at your location once before when your community account representative Paul had an event here, so I might have met some of you, so it's nice to be back. So with that, I wanted to roll right into what the purpose of me being at your meeting is. So you folks are evaluating your services that you get with your bulk services that come with your HOA fees, right? So currently you have our home television service in your homes, and a lot of you have also subscribed to our internet service, home, mobile phone. So I'm just going to touch on a few things through this presentation, just to bring you up to speed with where we are today, give you a little history about Comcast for those of you who aren't familiar with Comcast. We were established in 1963 in Tupelo, Mississippi. So we've been a cable television provider for quite a long time. We're a leader in the industry, and we're very proud of that. We're a nationwide company, although we are not in every pocket of every state, but we are nationwide. So for those of you who have our services, your internet services, I'm going to talk a little bit about what that means to you with your seasonal resident, or when you're out traveling, how your services that you subscribe to today you can take on the go with you. Wanted you to also, just a couple of other things. We were in 1977, HBO launched on our network. So we are an integrator of integrators, even more so today. But that's an example of how it began. I'll talk a little bit about what I mean by integrator of integrator in just a moment. We're headquartered in Philadelphia. We moved our headquarters there in 1977. Our founder, Ralph Roberts, stayed as our leader until he passed away. When he passed away, his son Brian took the realm, and he today is who leads our company. Comcast has a couple of different divisions. We are a cable provider for residents. So when you see Xfinity, Xfinity is our brand for residential service. We also offer Comcast Business to businesses. We also have the Universal Parks. There's 2 of them. There's one here in Florida and another one in Hollywood, California. So we also have entertainment that way. Also NBC is also a part of our Comcast family. Many of you may have followed the news recently where we acquired Sky. Sky is the leading provider of cable services in Europe. So we're happy about that. Right now it looks like Sky is going to be playing more with our content. So we have yet to see what that's going to mean to us here in America, but I'm quite sure that we're going to be able to stream some of the Sky BBC shows, Sky shows. I actually lived in London for a while. I had Sky. If you wanted anything but public television or the regular television, you subscribed to Sky. And so I'm familiar with it, and I know it's a good partner for us. I was excited when this just happened. It actually just happened last month. How many of you followed that in the news? Okay, good. How many of you have Comcast at a home outside of Florida? Okay, quite a few of you. I figured so. I'm going to touch on why that's important to you if you've got our services in 2 homes in just a moment. So why don't we just put it in here. So one thing that we are doing is trying to improve our customer experience, and we've been on this endeavor for about 3 years now. We know that we have had a struggle with supporting our customers in the way that you deserve to be supported. When I first joined Comcast, I joined as a community account representative. That is the Paul that I was speaking about earlier. That was an initiative to put people in the communities, such as yours, to support our bulk communities. So you do have another one because Paul, with Comcast, was promoted and moved back to Kansas. So you do have another community account representative. His name is Gene. This is Gene. So if you see him, he comes once a month. He will also have events just like Paul. He's going to delve a little bit more into some of our products and services when he's on site with you to show you how to use our apps. If you would like an overview of that, he'll be able to demonstrate some of our services like our X1 product. So you do have a resource. And he's not customer service. He's not the person that you pick up the phone when you have a question about an invoice or you have a trouble ticket perhaps you need to open. But he is there for escalation. So if you're finding that you're struggling with getting something resolved, that's where Gene is an advocate for you. Has he come by? Have you met him? Okay, good. Good. So this is Gene. He's one of the best, I have to be honest. You ended up with a very good, he's very interactive, he loves to have events, so please.
What's your last name?
Gene Noel, N-O-E-L. Yep. And I'll ask him to send out his letter, because they can send a letter to the community that introduces him, and his contact information will be on there, so I'll ask him to do that tomorrow. I'll make a note of that. So yeah, we want to make sure that you're taken care of and that you have a resource, and that will continue with Gene. I talked a little bit about being an integrator of integrators, but we also have a lot of partnerships. One of the partnerships that we have that served our communities well is that we partnership with UPS. So if you're in a situation where maybe you're selling your home and you need to get your equipment back, you can go to a UPS store. You don't need to box it up. You just bring it to the UPS store. They will scan it, box it up, and return it to us. So that's a nice convenience for those of you who need to return equipment. That's one of the things that we're doing is partnering in the community. We've also opened up more stores. Last year we opened up the store off of Colonial, so that's your closest store. We tried to make these stores less of a customer service counter feel, so they are an interactive store. If you're interested in touching and feeling and learning about our services, you can do so there. There's couches, there's televisions. So it's much like an Apple store, if you've ever been in an Apple store in that environment. Also, through that store, you can purchase modems. You're going to be able to purchase more equipment in the future. That's where you're able to subscribe to our mobile phone service if you're interested in getting our mobile phone. So those stores are there for you for that purpose. We do also have a bulk call center. that's here in Florida that you folks will get routed to. What that means to you is that these folks are trained, they go through 13 weeks of training before they answer a phone call. They are familiar with what bulk services means. So when you call, you shouldn't have to feel like you have to preface the conversation with, I'm with Prime Ridge, we have this services in our bulk. They know that. They're cross-trained too, so that there's less transfers. So they will be able to answer billing questions for you, answer questions about your bulk services. If you're interested in adding a service, they can assist you. Opening up a trouble ticket, they can assist you. Giving you guidance on how we empower you through our apps to monitor your services. Through our app, you can restart your equipment. So they're there for you, and that's here in Myers. Just see Jackie, this is my director, just popped up. What's she doing on my shoulder? So yeah, we're proud of that. So this call center here in Fort Myers, when it's going to be fully staffed, right now it's about 400 people, it's going to be 500 people. We have a backup customer service bulk center, we call them customer excellence. So there's another one in Jacksonville. So when folks come back, we do get very busy in our stores and we do get very busy in our call center, so we do have some overflow there to help out. If those two centers are full, then it'll overflow to a center in Georgia. So we've got some redundancies built in there. How many of you have the My Account app downloaded on your phone? Where this is where you go to look at your bill online. Okay, good. Through that app, you can also request a callback for customer service. So if you want to speak with somebody, as opposed to going through that app to open up a trouble ticket, which you can do through that app too, you can go in that app and it's quite easy. You have to log in once with your username and password for your account, and you'll just go into a chat window and you'll ask for a callback. You'll go in queue just like you do when you make a phone call into customer service and you're in queue waiting for somebody to take your call. So you get in that queue and they'll call you back. So that's a nice feature, but that's through the My Account app. So you do need to download the My Account app, and all of you have access to it, and it's at no charge. You just go to your app store, if it's Apple, the iPhone store, or Google Play, if it's an Android. Type in Xfinity, and you'll see all of our apps. There's not a lot of apps out there with us. There's about 6, because we've really consolidated our apps so that you don't have to have a bunch of apps to be able to navigate your services. Some of the other things that are here, I mean, we are proud about how we are working with the veterans. We hire a lot of veterans and veterans' families. Ralph was a lieutenant in the Navy in World War II, so that's, holds dear to us, and we do continue to do that.
Sure. I had a question that I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
I see some commercials on TV about discounted internet for veterans.
Uh-huh.
We have a lot of veterans here.
Okay.
Do they qualify for that?
You may qualify for that. To be honest with you, I don't know all of the qualifiers, but absolutely. Did you tell them that you were a veteran?
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing.
I don't actually, you've seen this on TV?
Yeah, it's all over TV.
Okay.
And it's a guy with his family, and he's so happy he can provide internet.
Yeah.
He got back from
Okay.
Iraq or whatever.
Got it. Well, I can't tell. Well, yeah, because well, I can't say yes to it because I don't know what the promotion is, but I'll have that as a takeaway and ask Gene to do some research, and when he comes to meet with you folks, share some information about that.
Yeah, 'cause our bulk is TV only.
Yeah.
So it's a la carte internet.
Yeah, the other
So-
things you, yeah, okay.
So if you're a veteran and qualified, why not take
For
advantage?
internet, yeah, but the other thing.
Yeah, Gene was at another event, so he couldn't join me here, but I'll have that as a takeaway to have that looked
Yeah.
at. One thing I will say is I have a customer who has a son overseas in the military in Afghanistan, and they subscribe to our home phone for him. Now, when you're in a military base, you folks who were in the military know, I'm an Army brat. My dad was a career in the Army, so I lived on a lot of military bases, and it's considered our own soil, right, where we live. So that being said, we have access to our internet, because internet overseas is a whole different ISP provider. They don't have .org and .com, and that's important in this story because When they subscribe to the home phone, it's an app. So he downloaded the app on his iPad. So in Afghanistan rather, he's able to call home like it's a local call because he's using the app over the internet on a military base that's American soil. So keep that in mind. I mean, the apps really can just, go a bunch of different ways of being a benefit to a family or a community. That being said, it's just like you being a seasonal person. You have our home phone, if you're the residents or here, wherever you go, that phone can ring on your cell phone. So it can be an additional number for you. If you get a voicemail, it'll come across to you in a text if you want. So it's pretty slick. It's just a matter of understanding it, learning it, and that's what Gene's able to do for you folks, is to really get you up to speed on the services that you have and the benefits and features that are there for you. We also have a big initiative once a year where it's Comcast Care Days. We all get out into the community and we do some good. We've repainted Boys and Girls Clubs. We have worked with handicapped associations where we're in building ramps. So that's a feel good. So we do try our best to get out into the community and let the community know that we care. What's going on up north with the hurricane? We've got our trucks up there trying to give Wi-Fi internet to the community. So you may have seen that on the news. We pretty much do that whenever there's a disaster. So we really do try to play a part in the community and be a good partner there. Does anybody have any questions about the services that we're interacting with other folks, and what our mission is in the public? This is just a slide to show you that we do have a nationwide network and we do have redundancy, and it's very important to know who's behind the services that are delivered to your home, because in the event that there is a disaster, if we take a hit here in Florida and we lose one of our data centers, there's always a data center that's going to back it up. We've got 15 data centers where we store our cloud services, and a lot of what we're talking about when we're talking apps and stuff, that is the cloud. If you've got our X1 service, you're watching television from the cloud. So it's important to know that you've got a carrier behind you that's nationwide, and we take seriously our redundancies. When we build our networks, we do IRU leases, which means those leases are like 25, 50 years long. So we make a commitment when we build our network that that's going to be in place, and that can't end. That doesn't go away. So every carrier partners with each other in order to build our networks. So we're not just here in your neighborhood. We're building redundancy outside of that, and whatever's coming to your community is ours, and we're not leasing it short term. And what that means to you is that it secures our rates, and it also makes us a good partner with our fiber provider, so that we're able to make sure that we're delivering the services that we want to, and we have control over it. There is fiber on our network. Most of what you're seeing as far as our backbone is fiber. So coming to your community, you have fiber, and then we bring the services to your home on our coaxial. So we're in your homes with your television. Many of you, it's also the internet. Many of you may have our mobile phone service, as well as home automation. So if you want home security, we're able to offer that as well. So all of this is in the mobile experience, is the My Account app that I talked about, where you can go on and have us call you back and such. So we're integrating all of our services over one initiative of having it voice activated and putting power and empowering our customers to be able to manage and use the services easily. So if you've got how many of you have our X1 in your home? The talking remote? Okay. Good. Well, if you've got our talking remote and then you take it a little bit further and get home security, whether it's our home security or not, there are products out there where, say you need to get a new door lock and you go to Home Depot to get a new door lock, you're now going to see that there's door locks that have an app behind it. because that app's going to allow you to get into the door through your phone. If you're away, out of town, and you need to have a repair person come into the home, you can open it up when they call you to let you know that it's there. But if you've got the X1, a lot of these devices, you can just talk to it. So you're watching TV, somebody knocks at your door, you can, through your remote, press the button and say, open up the door, and the door will open. So that's where this is all going in the future. It's called a smart home. Excuse me? If you've got a camera that integrates with our services, yes ma'am, then you can see who's at the door. If somebody calls you, you've got to, huh? Or you ignore it. You answer or ignore, you're right. Yeah. So there, I just wanted to point out that this is getting big. It's not just home security, it really is managing your home as well. And for those folks who are seasonal, that's a pretty big deal. I'm a working girl, I don't know what's going on at home, but I can see what's going on at home because I've got cameras in my home, and through my phone I can see what's going on in my house. So we've got an app for the television, we've got an app, I'm going to point to a couple that I think are the key for you. So you've got our TV app, which is our streaming. So let me just stay there for a second. We are a streaming company. So when you have our X1, you're able, from away from home, watch your television. That's streaming. You're going to the cloud and you're able to view what you've recorded. Shows that we have live channels. We also partner with Netflix and soon Amazon Prime. So if you've got our X1 box, and all the development is going into that box, you're able to get to Netflix by just speaking to the remote or going through your box. Why that's important to stress is that if you've got our X1, you're not using your internet bandwidth to watch Netflix. It's going through the cloud through the X1. What does that mean to you? You may not need to subscribe to high bandwidth to stream because your X1 is taking you there. It's also taking you to Amazon on November 1st. So that's an integrator. That's where we're starting to integrate with partners.
Quick question about that.
Sure.
Right now, a lot of us don't have internet down here, so we have an older box that's not voice activated.
It's not X1 if you don't have internet in your home. Right.
And the new
You have to have internet for that.
The new contract, will all the boxes be X1?
No.
So,
No.
okay.
Yeah. So to get X1, you do need to subscribe. It's a double play. You do need to subscribe to the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought at this time, all of us were entitled to receive the X1 box.
You can upgrade to it.
With our plan that we have in place with Comcast.
No.
Eric?
Only if you have the internet is the position that Comcast is taking, yeah.
If you
That's why I
upgrade.
was trying to make that clear.
Yeah.
And then the cost of the internet will vary, right? Everyone will pay something different type of thing?
Yeah, so there's promotions that are there, and that whole model is the industry, the promotions for 1 or 2 years that you enter into a promotion. We'll see what happens next year. We're thinking about making it more simplified, how our retail services are priced, so that's to come, more information on that. It's around this time we usually introduce the rates for the next year, so that's going to come out pretty soon. And when that happens, it ends up on your bill. Whether you subscribe to the service or not, our new rate structure ends up on your bill. So look out for that in the next couple of months to get an idea of where we're going with that. But yeah, that would be a double play promotion.
Sorry, a related question. I have triple play at home.
Okay.
So I have internet at home that I pay for along with the voice and everything else.
Okay.
Down here, we just have the basic TV. Is there any breaks for coming down here since I already pay for internet at home?
No.
Okay,
No.
just trying to.
Yeah,
You
fair
said earlier you
question.
had information for
Yep.
us that had it at home. I was hoping there was.
Yeah, but what you can do, because you have it at home, is you keep it active,
No, I put it on vacation.
put it on vacation, then it goes to sleep.
That goes-
If you didn't put it on vacation hold, you would be able to so you have X1 up home, where you're at? Okay, so you'd be able to record shows, and I record a lot of shows. I record the news because I'm never home to see it when it comes on, so I'm a person who records a lot. So when I'm away from home, I just need that app, and then I can watch it. So you will be able to do that if you don't put it on seasonal hold.
I just use the internet. So I just use it as the internet.
Okay, okay,
I'm not a recorder. I just
No.
use the internet.
okay,
Kim,
okay.
if their internet up north is on vacation mode, can they still log into the hotspots?
No,
No.
no, you've quieted it down, it quiets all.
No, no,
That's
no.
why- And the
Yeah,
other thing we basically pay for is our voice, our phones stay active, see, that's what we pay.
yeah. So a lot of people are no longer, I'm sorry, I'll get to you when I see you there. A lot of people aren't, I understand that a lot of people are still using seasonal hold, but with home automation, you need to keep your, your internet up, and a lot of people are monitoring their thermostats when they're away.
We're not there.
So when you get there, then you're using the apps more. Yes, ma'am.
You said you had fiber optics.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
don't have fiber optics.
You have fiber coming to your community. Yes, ma'am.
You do?
Yeah.
Because when my
It comes to the
goes
node.
out, my phone goes out, my internet goes out, my Wi-Fi goes out, I am out of everything. I mean, I'm back in the.
That would happen with fiber as well. I just want you to know fiber would act the same way. If it's down, it's down. But there's fiber.
See me on a different thing, right? They're all together. Everything is in one thing, that we have nothing control.
Yeah, that's the same thing with fiber. That's not specific to, what we have is called HFC, hybrid fiber coaxial. That's our standard. We deliver gig over that. Businesses get services with our HFC. I know that there are fiber providers out there, and those fiber providers can only offer fiber. They don't have an infrastructure or the redundancy that we have on our network. And so they pitch fiber, because that's what they do. And they pitch, some of the concept that they are sharing is that you're future-proof when you have fiber. Well, what future-proof to me means, and I just want to share my thought and our thought on future-proof. Future-proof is making sure that you're delivering a service that's going to take you into the future. Streaming is the future. Some of these fiber providers are resellers of content. Media Room is a company that resells content. That's all they do. And so a lot of these fiber providers just stream what they're getting from Media Room. They're not developing partnerships with the likes of Netflix. They're not doing their own streaming programming. So that's where, and what I just touched on with the home security and the automated home, that's our future proofing. I'm sorry?
Right now, if my fiber, my internet went out, if your TVs went out, everything would go out. So that meant if I had that on my lock, I wouldn't bring it.
I got one.
Yeah, if your internet went down, you could still get in with a key, but you are right. As long as your internet's down, you're not going to be able to get to that lock. You're right.
Just a question from online. Do you know where the closest fiber node to Pine Ridge is?
I don't know exactly where it's at, but I can tell you what it looks like.
I believe I was told it's a couple blocks, like near the Circle K on Orange River. Is that right?
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Yeah, it could be.
No, it's not.
No, I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying it could be at Circle K.
Yeah,
That
it's
makes
not on
sense to
our
me. It's not that
premises.
far. I mean, there's communities that are 1,000 homes, and so, there's a distance like that to a node. So the node gets monitored, and we make sure that it's got at least no more than 75% saturated. When we see that the node is being saturated, we deliver more to that node, or we split the node. Sometimes it can just be split, putting another device right within that same confined box. If we find that there's no more ways to split it, we'll install another one. We're not going to be behind with the way we deliver service. I can promise you that. Yes, ma'am.
Curiosity, do you have a handout or a website or something that we can go to see what services we will be getting included in you dealing with Pine Ridge? If you have internet, if you don't have internet.
I've shared, yeah,
if
we
you have all three.
Yeah, we shared that with the board, and then it's been narrowed down to a product set. So if you're interested in knowing what you yourself have access to above what is on the bulk services, You log into that My Account and you go shopping. You literally do that. Oh, okay,
So why don't you talk specifically about what you're offering Pine Ridge
okay,
at this time?
okay.
And that way we can get to the questions at the end, Kim, because you're
Okay.
getting more revenue.
Yeah, I needed you to help me stay on track, so thank you for that. I just want to show you this slide, though. These are some of the product sets that we're integrating with in your home.
Yeah, we'll get to the question.
So that's the Nest product, it's the LiftMaster, it's the light bulbs, the Zen light bulbs, Hue light bulbs. I'm going to get that down here. I definitely want to touch on the internet for those folks that have it. So today, you guys currently have this product set in your home, and it's going to look much the same based on the conversations that I've been having with your board, where you have a converter box in your home that allows you to get on demand, which is renting movies, watching free movies, watching documentaries. The music channels all come from that primary box, the converter box. And then you have 2 additional television sets that can be activated through the smaller box for basic viewing. So that doesn't have access to the movie, to the movies or the music channel. So it's very similar. For $31.24 a month, which keeps the rate the same for the first year that you have today. It's a 6-year. I'm sorry?
That's only a 1-year lock?
Yeah, because it will go up 4% after that per year. Yep. Here it is, annual increase is 4%. We'll manage the home runs, which is the network that gets connected to your house, the coaxial. Exclusive marketing, which basically means we're your bulk provider, so we would say, please, don't go out there and advertise another provider for video. It's not like we police it, but we would ask that you not do that.
For video or for any of your services?
For all of our services.
Even though the contract is limited to video?
Yeah, yeah. That's not to say they can't be here. It just means that you, the board, won't advertise it. Won't put it on your website.
No, I'm just making sure everybody understands.
Uh-huh. And then for those of you who have a home phone, $25 rate. It's $44.95 retail, so that is a good rate. And then here, or wherever you decide, a Wi-Fi network that can be used at the pool or in here for people that are here on their devices, up to 50 consecutive users. And then here for the television to provide services here, and 2 local insertion, which is your community channels.
Now there's going to be an HD adapter here, though. Right now we have an HD box. We can't keep that box.
Is that
That's not an X1, it's just a regular HD box.
yeah, no, it would be an adapter.
So we would be downgrading the class.
Yeah, you could get on demand on that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
What you've just been describing is not the X1, am I correct?
correct. Yeah, that would be an upgrade. So you can, if you're interested in that, you can do that on your own. Yes, ma'am.
Like there's a bunch of us who are all, so we're in a group, as you said. So with that, is there any way that you would allow for the rest of us, even though we pay separately, to give us a discount on our Wi-Fi?
No, it's all, for bulk, it's all or nothing. Because what?
It goes up every year.
Yeah, no,
I mean, it gets really bad at the end.
if you're on a promotion, that promotion does end.
That's right.
Yeah.
First year, and then what was $67
Well, there's other promotions that you should be able to get in, but you're right. If you're the very first time you subscribe to services, it's going to be a pretty inviting rate to become a customer. And that's your first, and
Guys,
no, unfortunately,
Guys.
yeah.
we're not gonna get into back and forth. If you have a question, you can ask your question. You can ask, if there's needs clarification, you can have like one small follow-up, but we're not gonna get into conversations like that in front. And if you do have a question, we'd like you to step up to the microphone if you're able to.
So we're gonna start questions.
Yeah, we'll show it,
If you can get to the microphone or talk loudly.
Okay, but, yeah,
If you
we're not
can't
gonna
get to the
have
microphone, we'll try to repeat the question for the people at home.
Hi, my name is Tom Trino. I live at 4741 Blackberry. I actually had several questions.
Okay.
I didn't see this information anywhere. How many residents?
Can't hear at all. You're gonna have to pick up the phone.
Okay, sorry. How many residents currently have internet in Pine Ridge?
So you guys have, right now this is gonna change since folks are coming back, right? But right now, 55% of the community subscribes to our internet.
Okay. And do you have a projection on what it is during full season? Do you know?
I don't have that with me now, but typically it does increase.
I think it goes up to close to 60.
Yeah.
Close to 60, and then we have 25 people that subscribe to the internet for Century.
Okay. And maybe this
You
is a
better
question for the board.
Uh-huh.
Have we got, I guess what I'm questioning is why we're looking at this when only 55% of the people use it. I, for example, get the top, I get 250 megabytes because I need it for my business.
Oh, okay, so you have business Comcast?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I don't think everybody else should subsidize that or pay for my internet.
Oh, internet's not included in the bill.
No, I
Oh,
know,
okay.
but we're looking at adding the internet for everybody, is why we're even looking at this.
No, this is, Xfinity's not adding internet. This is just television only. This presentation is just what they're presenting.
I'm really confused, then I apologize.
Well, if you want internet,
That was option 2.
our bulk contract with Xfinity is television only. They have done a proposal
Right,
for
I'm looking at that.
internet.
To add
Yeah, that's
the internet.
$63. We're not doing that. There's no chance. We can't afford that.
That would raise everybody's dues quite a bit.
No,
Okay.
that's why we're not doing
So-
that. So this is TV
It's on
only.
there just so you know what.
So the questions are TV only for
But
Xfinity.
aren't we looking at Dish to add internet?
That's a different thing.
This is
This is
I know.
Comcast. You're burning through her time.
Okay, well, I'm not comfortable with all
If
these
Dish,
questions.
yeah, you can't have two different providers providing you services at your home. If it's something like that, that's gonna complicate things because you only have one set of wiring within your home. So,
Okay, well, my final
Yeah, that would be-
question then, bottom
that would
line,
be-
if the board decides to go with this Dish program,
Mhm.
can I still get Comcast individually,
It-
myself personally?
if we still are in the community subscribing, we have customers that are subscribing to us, yeah.
But it's
Are
not
you
an all or
looking,
nothing.
if we're up against Dish for 100%, then there's no need.
Then I can't get it individually.
I can't say for sure, but it wouldn't make sense for us to keep a network up if it's not really being used. Do you know what I mean? I see where you're coming from, but I can't answer that, we're going to be able to maintain the network if we don't have any penetration here.
Okay,
It needs to make cost sense for us.
one last question and I'll get off here. How many channels are we currently getting?
The channel list is here. It's close to 200,
Okay, that's what I
or
thought.
just under 200, yeah.
Is there any expense to us as a development in making any changes? I mean, if we
Expense
get-
to you, no. As far as construction, no.
structure.
If anything, with our proposal, we're including a payment to the board for
Right.
each door,
I
$86.40.
see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Clarification, that's not 200 channels on basic, is it?
It's these channels here. So when you look at our channel lineup, you're gonna see two columns, and this SD column is standard digital. That's the channel lineup there, so that's why you're seeing two. For those channels that are high def, they're gonna have their own channel number. And then in addition to this, there's music channels.
It's a duplicate.
They're duplicates.
These here, yeah. But then there's also music channels that are not included in this.
Well, so basically you have about 100 channels there.
No, there's over 100 up there. If you wanted to upgrade to like a sport network, you pay on your own. If you wanted, to go into premium channels, yeah. But you're right, this is not including all of our lineup. Preferred is $14.95, that adds a whole nother layer of channels. $17.95? Okay, there was a promotion out there that may have been. Yes. Hi.
Two quick questions, if I may.
Sure.
Before you were mentioning that if you had the Xfinity talking, if you have the Xfinity talking thing, that you could record.
Yes, ma'am.
But don't you have to pay for a DVR to be able to record?
Yes.
Okay,
So you're right. So there's an X1 DVR.
Okay.
That's part of the X1. It's $10 for the DVR functionality to record. Otherwise, it is a converter box. So everything that you're able to do on the converter box, plus you can get to the streaming, like if you hit the C button, it's the sports menu, any games that are on. You're familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay, that gets you to all of that.
Okay. Secondly is, if you buy a modem, because you pay a rental fee for a modem, if you buy a modem from you.
That's an option. You don't have to rent it.
Okay, so if you buy it, then you get rid of that monthly charge?
Yeah, you don't have to rent it, so it's an option. You can rent it for $10 or do your own. If you do your own, you install it and you manage it. We're not going to be able to get into it for troubleshooting.
For you?
Oh, no.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. And the other thing is just, the wiring is older here. I just want to be clear, it was my understanding that people that have had problems with it, that Comcast has come back to rewire if there was a problem in an individual unit, and it is at the expense of Comcast, not the individual person, correct?
Correct. If
Okay.
you're having an
Thank
issue
you.
with the home run wiring, that's the wiring that comes into your home. It comes into your home. It's not in your home. It's not your outlet. It's not that outlet. It's the wiring coming into your home. We will replace it. That is, go ahead.
It doesn't include what's in your walls, what comes out. It only the
That's
wire
correct.
that comes into the house, strictly.
That's correct. Yeah. So we don't need to redo your interior wiring. Yeah. Some people ask, call and say, I want to move my television to a different wall. Can you move the outlet?
Right.
We don't do that. You can hire an electrician. We can't, punch into your walls.
So you need a DVR box in order to record everything?
Sure. That's what a DVR is. Yep. So I don't know if you realized it, but a lot of the services that we have as far as channel lineup, you don't have to have it on a promotion where you keep it. Meaning, say you're interested in seeing the Game of Thrones because you've heard so much about the Game of Thrones. You can add HBO on for a weekend. You just call, add it, call on Monday, take it off, and you're only billed the prorated rate. So if you want to try out a service, you can do that as well. If there's a sports, that you follow and the season begins and you want to watch it, $9.95, and then when the season ends, you can call and cancel it. There's not an early termination on ancillary premium channels like that. Yes, sir.
I have only one negative that I can think of, and that is when you call for service. This computer-generated voice is enough to drive you up a wall.
Okay.
Trying to get through to an agent can take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, and 90% of the time they get me to the wrong person.
Okay, let me speak to that a
This has
little
to
bit.
stop.
Okay.
And if I may just say, I'm down here 3 years now, 23 years in Tennessee with Comcast. We had local stores or services within the towns that you can either go there or call them direct and speak to somebody and get your service taken care of immediately. That's a has-been.
Okay.
Now everything is computer and you can't get through to people.
Okay.
And then when I do, 4 out of 5 times I get somebody in Jamaica, Mexico, or India. This has to stop.
Okay, so let me speak to that. We are bringing, and this is our call center here, the 2 call centers in Florida are jobs that came back to America. So we are bringing more and more of our call center jobs back.
When is this available?
It's available now.
What is the phone number there?
It's 1-800-XFINITY. But if you call in the middle of if you call after hours, after midnight, you will probably get to a call center that's open and supporting us off hours.
I've
Which
gotten
could be
Atlanta
another.
once in a while, but I mean, when
Yeah,
I get
Atlanta's-
overseas and their accent is terrible, or they can't do anything for you.
Well, then I would say, if you have that experience, there's two things I want to say to that, because we don't want you to be frustrated. One, with that My Account app, you can ask for a callback. The second thing is, if you have your account set up properly, there shouldn't be that many transfers. And what I mean by that, I'm from New Jersey. I moved down here from New Jersey. I have a New Jersey cell phone number. If I didn't list my phone number properly on my account, if I didn't do the due diligence of setting up my account and putting in my phone number, when I call, I'm going to New Jersey.
I'm local, I'm here all year round.
Is your phone number listed on your account?
It's right here, it's a Florida number, yes.
And it's listed on your
Yes.
account? Okay. So thank you for doing that, because that can be a struggle. If you don't have your proper phone number listed on your account, then we're not going to be able to route you based on our database information to get you to the proper
The way they
call
route it
center.
is through the caller ID. So if you call from a different phone, say if it's registered under your husband's name and the wife calls on her cell phone, it's not going to pick it up because the caller ID is not going to register, right? You have
Correct.
to call from the number
And
that's your primary number.
Correct. And for those of you who have two homes, it'll recognize that there's two addresses, and it'll ask you for the proper address. If you hit pound at 000, you're gonna go into a maze. So that doesn't help.
I have both phone numbers, my cell number and my home number, through Comcast. So if power goes out, I lose my home phone, I call from the cell phone, they have that number in there as well. But they still route me to Mexico or Jamaica.
Then just imagine somebody in the US who will do that.
Or ask that call back.
That's
Yeah.
not true, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Since you just brought this issue up, I'm gonna add on to that. I just had my Norton working this week.
Your Norton, okay, that's your antivirus that you installed?
Right.
Okay.
It's the one I get through you folks.
Okay.
Okay? I had to make five phone calls. 5 phone
Okay.
calls.
I
to
believe
get
it.
fixed. And then they didn't fix it. Okay? And I called them back, and they was gonna call me back, and that was last Tuesday, and they said they would call me, have a supervisor call me back within 1 hour. Okay, it's been now, what, 49 hours?
Okay. This.
No phone call.
Okay.
So don't tell me about the great service, it isn't great, it's terrifying.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. What I would like to do is make sure that I get.
I'll ask one more thing if I can, Eric, I don't want to take up the meeting, but I'll ask one more thing.
Okay.
I went down to your office here off of Colonial last year because my rate jumped 25%.
Okay.
I went down to ask them why, and they couldn't tell me why, but they told me, hey, we got a promotion here that'll take you back down to where you were.
Okay.
And they did, they took me back down to where I were. So I still want to know why it jumped 25%, and they had some little fat guy come up here who was working for your company, and he started arguing with me, and I walked out. When I got home, I was on basic for basic. I'm paying full value for it, ma'am. So that's the type of service people you got here in the local law. That's the type of people you got on your phone.
Okay, so what I would like to do, if you are willing, is to take your name and number and share it with Jean, and we can take a look at your account, because anytime you call customer service, it's recorded. So if you're having that experience, I'd like the opportunity to set that right with Jean's help.
Well, man, you can't set it straight, you just gotta fix your whole damn company.
Okay.
Guys,
I have lived here personally a few years, and I
Okay.
want to tell you, every experience I've had with having them come out to check something has been easy to do,
Okay.
and I appreciate that you having. You have a lot of trust in this community in the last 10 days.
Okay.
And I'm sure they're gonna make this better for us. I thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to say, we're not perfect, but when you have a community account representative such as Jean and such as Paul, this frustration shouldn't fester. We've got people in your community to be there as your advocate. This is just inherent in technology. And I know that it can be confusing, but we do have somebody here to help you out with that. So I'm sorry that, you have that, but if you want to share your name and number with me, and you're willing to have Jean help you out, I'm lending you that offer.
Guys, just a couple more questions. Kim's only got about 10 more minutes. Okay?
I just want to compliment you. I decided on my own self to disconnect the DVR box.
Okay.
Because I didn't know that we had the microphone thing, so I disconnected the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I called and she goes, no ma'am, you haven't, you need to reconnect it. I know this plug goes here, this plug goes here, but they don't necessarily 1, 2, 3. I don't know which one goes which.
Okay.
She talked me through everything, sweet as she could be. I had no complaints at all. She was on the phone with me for probably 15 to 16 minutes.
Yeah.
Never a problem. So
good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to also put out there, to your point, if you're wanting to have a tutorial on how to do something, such as set up our box, YouTube, you can go to YouTube and there will be a person there walking it through. We put a lot of our information on YouTube as well, if that's something you're interested in doing.
Yes, ma'am. The Xfinity voice that you were showing on the other. On the proposal.
Oh, on the proposal, the $25?
Now, is that for home phone service?
Yes.
Or is that for the Xfinity
Mobile? No, that's the home phone service. Xfinity Mobile you can subscribe to if you're an internet customer. It's $12 a gig.
But then in the presentation there, it said something about talk and text. Well, you can't text on your home phone, can you?
Yeah. It becomes an app.
Oh, okay.
It becomes an app. Just like if you get a voicemail, it'll come across to you written. So yeah, it can end up as a text.
How can you put an app on your home phone?
No, with your...
That's what she asked you.
If you subscribe to our home phone, then it comes with an app. And you download the app either to your device. Yeah. That's how that example that I gave of the gentleman that was in Iraq, he was on his iPad.
That's the first we
How does an app work on your on a handheld?
It's not on your home phone.
That's what
It's an app that gets downloaded onto a device.
You gotta clarify that.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I was gonna let you ask the last question. No question? Okay, guys. I think Kim's, Kim? Yeah. Kim, you about ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, that's it.
We appreciate your speaking to us this evening and answering all the questions.
You're welcome.
Thank As you heard, we have a lot of people here that are diehard Comcast.